with
Is there an eject button?
technology. We're still living hand raisers.
I know you have a button that drops people down
Yes, we
from the
do.
podium.
Yep. Pull the thing and,
There's a whole cellar full of skeletons, I
Yep.
think.
that's right.
I think it's at least 3 o'clock, so we'll call this meeting into order. It's the regular meeting of MCAG Governing Board, the Transit Joint Powers Authority for Merced County and Merced County Regional Waste Management Authority boards are hereby in session. Our first agenda item is the pledge to our flag. Please stand. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Director Davis.
Here.
Director Walsh. Director Pedroso.
Here.
Director Kelsey. Director O'Banion. Director Oliveira.
Here.
Director Espinoza.
Here.
Director Vialta. Director Fall. Director Antonetti.
Here.
Vice Chair Thurston.
Here. Number 3 is oral communications. Would you please read the stipulations, I guess you'd say?
Thank you. Persons wishing to address agenda items or comment on any item not on the agenda may do so at this time. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and city or community of residence for the record for items not on the agenda. No action will be taken at this time. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and/or placed on the next agenda.
Is there anyone here who wishes to talk in the public comment period? Seeing none, we'll move to item number 4, oral report from the Citizens Advisory Committee.
Move this? Is this correct? Is that better? Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Christiane Traub. I'm giving you the report from our last regular meeting. We elected a new chair. The old chair was elected to be the new chair, Mike Sell. Our vice chair is Jack Lemon. We had information items and we had some action items. The formal amendment number 23 to the 2013 Federal Transportation Improvement Program was approved by the Citizen Advisory Committee. We also reviewed the transportation plan and environmental impact report and received the Commute Connection monthly report. We also viewed a really neat commercial about the bus that you might want to take a look at if you have it somewhere. I thought it was very well done. We also have 3 new members, which makes a full committee. Ellen Arnold, Derek Alexander, and Pam Tukonis. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. If not, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions from any of the directors? Thank you very much. Number 5, Caltrans report, and that really looks like Ken Baxter.
Mr. Welch, we do have room up here. You should go right home.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, board members. Just a few quick items here. Ken Baxter with Caltrans. Dennis Agar has been selected as our new District 10 director. And so some of you may remember him. He was our deputy district director for project delivery for a few years, and then he was our maintenance and operations deputy, and then he went to Sacramento on a promotion to our statewide division chief for traffic operations. And so he started on the 16th, this last Monday. And he's promised, I made him raise his right hand and promise that he'll stay here for at least 10 years, so we'll see if that works. Just kidding, but we hope he sticks around for a long time. He's a wonderful person, and we're looking forward to working with him. I'm passing around a one-page handout, and it's our new public awareness campaign that we're starting statewide. We started this Monday, and it's all about saving the lives of our employees as well as the public. And the name of it is Be Work Zone Alert. Caltrans, the Governor's Office of Traffic Safety, and the California Highway Patrol are all jointly putting this on. We're using about 60 billboards throughout the state. We're doing public service announcements. I understand some of the employees, the workers, these are the highway workers. Children are involved somehow, some way with these things on radios, etc., about their parents working on the highways, so please slow down in the work zones. Doing all we can, because we've lost about 183-ish since the 1920s employees. And according to the information that I've read, if you compare the highway work to the average industrial job out there in the world, our work is 7 times more riskier of losing your life or being injured. And so we want to get that down to 0. Minimize as much as we can, but our goal is to get that down to 0 every year. So enough on that. Very important to us. I do want to report on just a couple of other quick items here. That the highway projects right now, the 99 Arboleda going to 6 lanes, we're 75% complete. Should be done May 2015. Plainsburg, it's about 53%, looking at June 2015. The other big one, the Atwater Merced Expressway, 35% complete, slated for completion February 2016. And Bradley on 140, the structure, construction's 96% complete according to this note. Should be done this summer. So I don't know if that's next week or in a month or so, but it's soon. And the Stevenson Rehab, Supervisor Deidre Kelsey, I don't see you, but the good news on that, the 165 rehab project, we did start construction on that. That is targeted for completion February 2015. And there's others, but those are some of the big items. And I do want to note that we have a SHOP project, the State Highway Operation Protection Program, and we have a major rehab project on 140 from 99 back to Gustine, and that's targeted for 2016-17. To make this competitive and to protect this statewide for this rehab money, we needed to elevate this from a minor arterial to a principal. We just did that like last week internally. And so that's good, and what we're going to do, and I've already met with the Public Works Director of Merced, Dana, and Margie, and give them a heads up that we need a letter of support from MCAG and a resolution from the Board of Supervisors so we can take that and package it, get it to headquarters, and get that to Federal Highway so we can upgrade 140 basically from 99 to I-5 into the National Highway System. And that will give us more opportunity to leverage federal funds, hopefully in the future, and protect it in this list here, statewide competitive projects. So that was something that our district took on, and we're past the first phase. We're getting into the National Highway System part of it now. But the good news is the Federal Highway did approve it to be a primary arterial from a minor, so that's good news. So I just wanted to share that with you. I think that's all I have, unless you have any questions or homework assignments. I know a couple of you talked to me before the meeting this afternoon, and we'll try to resolve some of those issues.
I got a comment.
Go ahead.
I just want to thank you for the Sultana overpass stop signs. I
Okay.
think it'll be a lot safer for you and Caltrans. Thank you very much.
I'll pass that on. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the
Can
board
I
members?
ask, Mr. Baxter, is 152 considered a primary highway?
Yes, 99.
I-5, is that considered primary?
Yeah. 152 and 99 in this county are right at the top. And the reason why they're considered focus routes. So they're extremely competitive routes, 99 and 152, more so for the highway system than others.
Because our bypass of Los Banos That's
Right.
why I was wondering if they were considered a primary. So when we're looking for money through the federal and state people, they should look at that.
Right.
Is something that is important, because I just think we need to keep pushing the importance of those, of that 152 bypass, because it's the only one going east and west besides Ultimate Pass. And you can look down in California, so I just think that more, I appreciate what you're doing with 140, that's great. But I really think that 152, some of our people don't realize the importance of it, and the
Right.
bypass.
Yeah, and that's a capacity project, different monies and a different program. We're just trying to get the pavement
I
out there that
understand
needs to be
but I
rehabbed.
just,
Right.
We just have to get money.
Yeah. But you're right, I mean, it's right at the top.
Okay, thank you.
152 is.
Anything further from any other director? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 6, these is information and discussion item only. They include the minutes of the June 11, 2014 TRB meeting, Executive Order 12372, Intergovernmental Review of Federal Programs, and Commute Connection Monthly Report, April 2014. Does the board have any questions or comments regarding any of these items? Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments on these? Director Walsh.
I've just got a question on, and I asked Margie in advance, so this is when we look at the Commute Connection monthly report for April, all the other areas seem to have this large participation, and we're real small. And then when you look at the demographic information we have, I think the number was 25,000 people commute out of Merced north to Stockton, the Bay Area. How come that number, I mean, not how come 25,000, but how come the number's so small and we've got that many people going out? Because I generally know people who are making the commute and they're not aware of any commute connection opportunities.
I'd be happy to take that, Mr. Chair. Commute Connections has been established in the northern part of the valley in Stanislaus and San Joaquin for over 20 years, I believe, and we're fairly new to the process, so it's just going to take a little bit of time.
Okay. Thanks.
Anything further? Thank you. With that, we'll move on to agenda item number 7. It's a consent agenda including minutes of the May 15, 2014 MCAG Governing Board meeting, formal amendment number 23 to the 2013 Federal Transportation Improvement Program, and the City of Merced Continuum of Care contract. Does the board have any questions or comments about any of these 3 items? Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments about any of these 3 items? If not, the chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 8 is the Regional Transportation Plan Environmental Impact Report for review and comment. Mr. Fell, you wanted to talk about this?
Sure, this is really just an announcement. We did have a presentation last month about the Regional Transportation Plan. We are in our public comment period for the plan, and we now have also released the Environmental Impact Report, and the comment periods for both of those are until July 15th. So just wanted to let everybody know that we are accepting comments on those documents, and then after we get any comments, then we'll prepare responses to those. I think I mentioned last month how we had our open houses and our public hearings, and we had some participation there. You know, it could have been better, but we did have some decent participation, folks who were interested in the process. So we'll see what sorts of comments we get.
Does any of the directors have any questions or comments to Mr. Fell? Seeing none, we'll go on to number 9, the Regional Transportation Impact Fee Study Session. This is an action item to direct staff to schedule an RTIF and project financing study session. Mr. Fell.
Yeah, we had a request from Director Villalta to have an explanation of the history of the RTIF and the principles and procedures that it follows and the kind of the basis for it, how it works and all that. And also, are there other opportunities for funding mechanisms? So we thought it would be good to approach that via a study session at the board's discretion. We thought maybe 1 hour would be good for an initial. That would be plenty of time to go over the history of the RTIF and then take any sorts of questions. And then if we need to follow up, then we could do that.
Questions by the board? Comments?
I move that we establish a study session and say 2 or 1:30 before the normal meeting that we have in July, so that we can, I think that would be July 17th. I would move that we, how long would, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? 1:30?
It's up to staff to schedule. We're just giving them authority to schedule
I
it.
just was wondering what, I was going to put that as part of my motion. Okay, I move that we do a study session starting at 1:30 in regards to the RTIF project financing.
Second.
You're talking about prior to the regular meeting. Obviously enough time to give notice for that. Is that okay?
Right, and then I should also mention, if anybody has any specific questions that they would like addressed, please let me know, and I will do my best to give a full explanation and answer for the, any specific questions or ideas.
Where is the next meeting?
At the county, at
Oh,
the building, so we're either at MCAG or the county, we can accommodate them.
Okay.
Matt? I don't want to take time today, so I'll just send you a list of questions and concerns, because the city of Los Banos gave me a copy of the RTIF agreement as it was signed in 2005. And so the city of Los Banos is preparing a number of questions, and we'll just get those to you.
Okay, that'd be
Thank you.
great. Thank you.
Okay, so motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 10, 2014 Legislative Platform for the San Joaquin Valley Policy Council. Ms. Flanders.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, directors. Each year, the 8 counties in the San Joaquin Valley establish a state and legislative platform. Today, staff is requesting your support of the federal platform. Some highlights I wanted to bring to the board's attention include supporting the Goods Movement Plan, which includes Highway 99 as well as Highway 152, supporting Tiger grants for rail upgrades, protect and continue funding for bridge replacements and CMAQ funds, and support efforts to designate an air and health quality empowerment zone. The full 3-page platform is in your packet. Approval of this platform will go before the San Joaquin Valley Policy Council tomorrow, which Director Villalta and Director Pedroso serve as our representatives, and Director Fall is our alternate. Once approved, this platform would be used as the stage for conversations in Washington, D.C. for the Valley Voice Trip in September. And we're asking for your support of that platform today, or any comments you might have that we can pass on to the Policy Council.
Okay, this is basically the federal platform.
Yes.
Okay. Any comments, questions from the board?
Lori, could you get me a call-in number?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Great.
Thank you. John, are you attending?
Pardon?
Are you attending?
No, I can't. I got some stuff going on in the Grand.
Okay.
Joan is.
Joan is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll call in.
Okay.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments regarding this particular item? This is an action item. The chair will entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This is a Transit Joint Powers Authority for Merced County, item number 11. It's an action item, minutes of the May 15, 2014 Transit Joint Powers Authority for Merced County. Any questions or comments regarding the minutes? Seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Item 12, oral report, Transit Monthly Update. Mr. Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. We are still in the process of preparing for our 3-year federal review. That'll happen at the end of July, so we're working through that. Once we get through that, we'll return our focus back to making some additional schedule and route changes that are set to happen. In addition, we're meeting with the City of Merced next week to talk about the future of installing bus shelters, enhancements to bus stops, and working out some logistics on some of the areas that we're having difficulty with, especially the area around Walmart. So we'll be making some adjustments there. We did have our free fare shuttle to the Merced County Fair. That went fairly well. We had about 25 people a day riding it, which was good. I was afraid of it being overused and not being able to handle the capacity. So we handled that, and nothing happened there. So we learned some lessons to prepare for next year. Our bus wrap project, will be starting July 1st. They'll be doing some touch-up paint, painting the grills and so forth, and then getting the buses wrapped starting July 7th. So we'll start seeing the nice, clean buses on the road here shortly. And then we're going through the process of reviewing the proposals for the new, larger transit coaches that we'll be purchasing over the next 5 years. It was a large undertaking putting this this request for proposal together, and now we have our proposals to review. And then, as mentioned, our commercial's out, so anyone who has Comcast in Merced County has probably seen our quick 15-second spot. So,
While watching the World Cup, I
oh yeah,
but national World Cup.
that's it for me.
Questions or comments for Mr. Green? I understand watching the World Cup is like watching grass grow, paint dry, something else. Thank you very much, sir. We're going to go next to the Merced County Regional, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Deborah Lewis. I'm a resident of Los Banos. I wanted to come before this body to hopefully give you some encouragement and a little bit of information on an experience that I recently had in riding your public transportation. Excuse me. When I was an employee with Santa Clara County, I was a longtime user of VTA. So I have quite a bit of experience riding public transportation. I had to make a trip to Modesto, use your website to try to ascertain where I was supposed to go and what bus I was to catch, and found it very difficult to negotiate my way through that website. When I caught the bus in Los Banos, I tried to engage the bus driver to assist me in making the right decision based on the information that I had gathered from your website, but found that your employee was quite unhelpful and not very friendly. So I'm passing this on to you because I think this is an area of improvement that you're needing. If you're looking to get more people to use your public transportation, is to make sure that your employees are friendly, that they have the information to help people transfer from one bus system to another. In this particular case, I had to transfer from a line coming from Los Banos to take me to Modesto. And apparently there are only 2 lines that do that. But when I asked to clarify it, I wasn't able to get information out of the bus driver. So again, I hope that you don't accept this as criticism, but being that you're trying to engage the public more in riding your public transportation, it would be wise to make sure that your employees or your contracted agencies, whichever they are informative, and that you do a major upgrading of your website. I had to go to Stanislaus' website to figure out which bus I was supposed to catch to get over there. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. The people that can make the changes have heard your voice. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Walsh.
I apologize, Chair. I do want to encourage Rich and others who are meeting with the city over the bus, the issue about Devonwood and the number of buses that we run across. Realize that this is a residential neighborhood. Really has that flavor. And the number we're running buses on there daily, 20 to 25 a day, sometimes 3 in a row across this. And so any options, I mean, I'm getting calls, I got calls, and I appreciate you've had a conversation, and I directed them. But for a residential area, that sure is a whole lot of buses to be running through the area. And I understand our options are limited, but if the city and your decision came up with another way to get there, I'm sure the folks in that neighborhood would greatly appreciate less buses riding the line. Because they're not stopping with them. They're really, this is a thoroughfare getting them to Walmart and the mall or the business over there.
I think Mr. Green said he's already
Yeah, I understand.
looking at
I just
options.
wanted to
So.
encourage that. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll go to the Merced County Regional Waste Management Authority. Item 13 is an action item. It's a consent agenda which includes the minutes of the May 15, 2014 Regional Waste Management Authority Board meeting, a request for out-of-state travel, and authorization to negotiate contract extension with SCS engineers for air quality reporting and monitoring professional services. Does the board have any questions or comments about any of the individual items? Does anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns about any of the individual items? Director Walsh.
Just a thought in terms of the negotiated contract extension. I would be more than willing to arrange with the air districts to have them come down and meet with broken staff about options and alternatives. Because I'm sure that the air district is quite familiar with other landfill operations with this requirement, just to facilitate. Just a thought, I make that offer if those are so required.
So you're requesting this item be removed?
No, go ahead. But as we move along with it, I'm more than willing to bring in, says, is there a way to facilitate it and get our monitoring requirements done differently, cheaper?
So you will coordinate with Ms. Kerner? Okay.
Just an offer.
Anything further? Chair will entertain a motion for item 13.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 14, oral report, Mr. Stayer.
Good afternoon. My way again. Great, I was getting excited that I could show you pictures again.
Maybe. Maybe I got
Well,
lost
just
over
imagine you're seeing pictures of a landfill fire that we had Monday a week ago.
Oh.
That was the day it was about 107 or 8, and the humidity was about 8%. No idea for the cause of it. We just happened to see it at 5 o'clock as we were closing up the office. It burned just the top layer of garbage, maybe an area the size of this room. The problem was we had already put the tarps on at 4 o'clock, and there was no smoke or flames then, and then it, got hot and burned up 3 or 4 tarps. The good news is those were the old tarps. We had ordered new tarps. They had arrived Friday and they had not started using them. So we just burned up the old tarps that we were going to start using this week anyway. So the fire department did respond with several trucks, but there were no injuries, no problems. Just kind of one of those routine things in the summer.
Is this normally how you dispose of the old tarps?
Well, we conserve airspace if we had more fires, but not that I condone that. And then the other thing, I had a couple pictures. There we go.
Maybe they'll find the IRS emails too.
So there's the fire at the corner of the landfill, and that's our water tanker. And it was just getting turned when we took the picture, but anyway, we got it out pretty quickly, and we had one guy basically stay all night long just to monitor it in case it did flare up again. And then we also, whenever I arrived, we were in the process of, we had already purchased a new break room for the Billy Wright landfill. And this is the old facility, and I've been told that this was a portable that they scavenged out of the landfill and just pulled up to use. So that's what they have been using for a couple of decades. As you can see, it was pretty bad condition. So now they've moved up to this, and I think the whole cost was somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000. And that included the permitting and the installation. We did some of the concrete work, and we put in the handicapped access ramps ourselves to save money. And it was a used building, and we just, they spent as little as possible on it, but we think it's a nice upgrade for the employees that are there. And then, as you can see, tonnage continues to be up. Again, for as long as we have Turlock, the tonnage will look good. I did want to point out that little statistic there, that of the 25,000 tons, 4,600 is imported. That's Tuolumne and Turlock. So again, without importing tonnage, local tonnage is down. I want to mention finding more tonnage is important to us, so we've been in communications with Mariposa County for a couple of months now. Margie and I went up Tuesday a week ago and met with their solid waste and public works director about potentially signing an agreement in the future to dispose of their waste. They currently have a tipping fee of $121 a ton, and that runs a digester, but it's not working as they had designed. And so hopefully in the near future we can offer them a disposal contract, but we'll bring that back to y'all and you can approve that. But we're just opening up the negotiations with them. Also, we're looking at options to use the landfill gas to produce electricity. We have been talking to two different companies. One is from Oregon, one is from Southern California, and we hope that we can end up having some kind of use for the gas where we get paid for it. Right now, our landfill gas contains 50% methane, which is great, but it competes with natural gas that comes out of the ground. The natural gas that comes out of the ground is cleaner and cheaper to process and cheaper to use, so having to clean our gas and dry it and put it in the line is expensive and makes it unattractive for people. But we're talking to people that hopefully can negotiate the greenhouse gas benefit of converting our landfill gas to energy, and that will be attractive to someone. Another item we're working on is tours of the landfill. We think recycling starts with kids, and children love to come to the landfill and see the big equipment and see the recycling being diverted from the landfill. And the problem is schools don't have the money to pay for buses, and teachers don't have any mechanism to get them there. And so what we're doing is going to try and get a bus from the old buses, maybe share that with the city of Merced, and then we would hire a bus driver who's off duty or in the middle of the day to go to a school and bring a load of kids and a teacher to the landfill, and then we would give them a tour. And so we would just offer those, and essentially our cost would be the fuel and the cost of the driver, and then we would provide the tour. So hopefully that will be get going by next fall. We'll keep you posted on that. Yes, sir.
Brooks, can we offer that in Los Banos too?
Yeah, that's going to be countywide.
Okay, great.
What we're looking to do is try and make it fair, so we would offer so many to each district or zone or something like that. So if one school gets the news ahead of another school, they can't just load up our calendar and take all the dates that we put out there. We'll make sure it's fair, and yes, definitely.
I would suggest contacting the district office then.
Yes, we already have.
Okay.
Yep.
And I mean, for the scheduling, and then they can roll that out to the principals. So what you're speaking about won't happen.
Right.
Okay.
And an update on City of Turlock. They called us last week and said that they may not sign the agreement long term. They're getting some, we've known that they've been getting some negative comments from Stanislaus County for taking their waste out of county and getting a cheaper price. And so there's been some political pressure, and I don't know what else going on. But they've told us that it's likely that they may go back to Stanislaus County. So I'd like to propose that we continue negotiations with them. And so this was the offer that we had provided them originally, was $18 a ton plus the BOE fee of $1.40, so it was $19.40. And then we had a 5-year agreement with 2 extensions. And we would just do a CPI based on the actual CPI for San Francisco Bay Area. So what I'd like to propose is we lower that price to $15.40 a ton, and we offer them 10 years right off the bat, and then still have the same CIP. And then the other thing they have a problem with is they, as a city, have lots of programs for recycling. So they meet the program requirement of recycling, but they don't necessarily, they just barely meet the 50% diversion. We, on the other hand, are just like Stanislaus County. We as a county are around 70% diversion because we have agricultural waste that we can count as diversion. So my suggestion would be they are allowed to join whatever JPA they would like, And so there's no problem with allowing another city or county or whoever into our JPA. So during the term of the agreement, we could allow them into our JPA. They keep doing the programs they're doing, but we get the benefit of their programs, they get the benefit of our additional recycling percentage. So it basically is exactly what we have with all the cities being a part of the county.
Comments by the board? Director Walsh.
I mean, I appreciate the proposal and things. What I'm hearing, the issue on Turlock isn't price. It isn't price. It's politics. And it's the other interrelationships you have. So I'm not sure it's in our best interest to lower the price. I mean, I'm not sure what we get out of that when it's this other interrelationship they have with Stanislaus County and the other cities. So, I mean, that's my first thought. I appreciate the creative approach. I mean, I understand, but I think that would fit if we thought it was price that was driving this decision on their part. And I hear that it's not price, that they were happy with the 18.
If I may, what they told me was yes, we were still a better deal, but only slightly. And if it was just a 5-year term, then that wouldn't be a lot of money to them. If we were to drop the price and make it 10 years, and then they can look at that price difference over 10 years and say that's now millions of dollars of savings, it may not have any impact at all, but if we're going to have a shot, I think this is the best one.
Brooks, as most government contracts have in them, do they have a clause that allows them to terminate it at their convenience at any time during the contract?
With us?
Yes.
Yes. I think there's a notification period, but yes,
Right.
both parties have the ability to leave pretty easily.
Would this cause complications with the other entities that we contract with as far as offering them such a better deal than maybe they have?
It could, but we already have the signed deal with Tuolumne County, and they were very pleased with the price because we're the closest landfill, so they're saving money on the hauling cost as well. And they priced around, and we were the best price on top of that.
Could they
But
come back and say, give us 5 more years and cut it like that? Well, what would we do? Renegotiate, in other words.
Yeah, we could. That could happen.
Any other questions about the board?
What's the difference between the $4, the $4, the decrease, what's that going to do to us?
That means we make less
Well, I
revenue.
know that, but we have any numbers on that over that same period of time?
Yes, that will be approximately $250,000 less in our pocket. They're delivering around 40,000 tons a year.
And it would be made up by the fact that we would have a 10-year contract with them, so that, is that correct? We would have 10 years instead of 5 years?
Right, I didn't-
Increased revenue?
Right, I didn't do the math, but you can do it. It's 40,000 tons a year times 10 years times $14 would be our profit.
Question.
Yes.
But that contract, I understand it can be broke by any party, either party?
Yes, I think it's a 180-day term or something like that that they have to notify us.
So it's really not a 10-year contract? It's a 180-day contract?
As with most governments, yes, that's true. Technically, yes.
Brooks, we all want more business, but do you see this as any kind of negative impact with what the ratepayers in Merced County are paying if we offer them a lower tipping fee?
I think there's always,
Because they're taking advantage
again,
of our, yeah.
Yeah, again, these are not easy decisions. I admit it. Right now, the individual agencies, some pay $6 a ton more than others. Our agency rates range from 30 to 36 something per entity, and then the person just driving in the gate is paying 43. So we essentially have different rates now, and obviously that upsets people when they look at what's going on with that. The thing I try to tell people is, with this outside customer, all we're extending to them is push and pack cost. And they don't care about our bond debt, and they don't care about our recycling program, or our composting, or the haz waste, or anything else. All they care about is the volume, that cubic yard of airspace they consume in our landfill. And that's the only service they get. And so when you're importing waste, that's the only cost we have. It weighs in on the scale we already have. The dozer is pushing another load, they just push another load. So we essentially don't have to add any more people. We don't have to add any more machines. The only cost it has is the couple of extra pushes per hour for a dozer.
Okay, so having said all that, and then let's say if we weed that out with what the ratepayers are paying now and take out the recycling program, everything else, and we broke that down into different categories, then would it be the same for inside Merced County residents as to outside Merced County residents if we took all that out and just did apples for apples?
Yes, except for one thing. The bond repayment is $2.6 million a year, and the internal tons we have generated from the county is roughly 220,000 tons. So more than $10 a ton of the current rate is just going to pay the old bond debt.
This is not an action item. Ask council how far we can go today as far as making a decision.
There is no decision to be made today.
Okay.
And I think you have a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd just like that, without the outside agency's money, the rates for the people in Merced County would be more likely to go up much quicker.
That's correct.
I mean, though, that is what is holding our rates down now, so it's not a matter of the inequities, it's the matter of they're subsidizing each city to keep their rates low, and without that, the rates would go up.
That's correct.
Anyone in the audience wish to make a comment or ask a question? Is anything further?
Yeah, is it possible just to, like kind of outline what I talked about to make, so then it would show that it's more palatable and we're really not giving them a deal?
Yes, yeah, we can, we've already got those prices, we just have to,
Yeah,
that's how come we know that we can make money at $14.
right. I'm looking for a way to make it work, not work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and any deal that we would come back to you ultimately. We just want permission just to be able to go to talk to them and say, if we could get you to approve this, would this sway them in the political pressure that they're getting?
That'll be an interesting answer.
Well,
It's not an action item today?
No.
It's
so can,
FYI.
okay, can I ask you a question then?
Sure.
Do we give him direction on, or does he already have direction on what he's going to be doing? Since it's not an action item.
I think we can give direction.
Yeah, I believe the board can give direction without an actual formal motion. I mean, I don't believe we made formal motions on the negotiations for the agreements previous to this, so I don't believe there's formal action needed.
Does any board member object to Mr. Sayer talking with them regarding this subject?
No, I think this is a good idea. I think that when he does talk with them, I think our legal counsel should be with him, and I think we need to make sure that we cover all of the bases and see exactly what their requirements are from their county JPTA as far as obligations go, so that
That
we
agreement that we already have.
understand what the actual contract is going to be, and whether the contract is going to be beneficial to us, and whether it's a legal contract. This business about what they were talking about, 180 days, we're interested in a 10-year contract, not being up after 180 days.
I understand, but all government contracts have a cancellation clause in them.
Some form of that, yes, but there has to be reasons why you're able to.
It's called for the convenience of the government. There's no reason. Sorry, Director Walsh.
I'm always always intrigued about why we're discussing negotiation tactics in open session on these kind of matters. Find it intriguing. If I was the city of Turlock, I sure would want to listen to what's the strategy you guys might want to approach me with. But since we are, my suggestion is that we slide to 14. That we have some initial discussions, we get a feel for them, and then, but generally, that isn't the first offer, because then we find out that we're negotiating against ourselves that said, well, shoot, we would have come for 60. So that's just, I don't think it's a bad discussion to have with them, to be honest with you. I'm not sure that we get there because I think it's, but if we don't have the discussion, we know we're not going to. So I think that's reasonable.
Well, and the reason that I picked dropping it this much was because I know the political pressure they're under, and they're probably not going to be swayed by $50,000 or $75,000. I think $250,000 over 10 years, which is $2.5 million, then that might make them, I don't know, this may have no impact at all.
Well, you'll find out soon enough.
You don't know.
We have reached a base, though. We're not going to go any lower.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
Okay. Are you clear with your, in quotes, marching orders, if you will?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything further? Thank you. And good luck. Item 15, election of governing board chair and vice chair for fiscal year 2014-15. The chair will entertain a motion for nominations.
I think that we had agreed, and Mayor Espinoza from the city of Livingston had brought it up, that the Livingston had not had the honor of being the chair of for this MCAG meeting group. So I nominate the mayor of the city of Livingston so that Livingston can be have been the chair. If I remember correctly, is that correct, Margie, that the city of Livingston, they have not been the chair?
As far as I can tell, yeah.
Okay, so I move that the city of Livingston be the chair for the coming year.
Is there a second?
I would like to be considered just for vice chair instead of chair, because I know Mr. Stan Thurston is vice chair, so I don't want to drop the normality of, passing the chair. So I think he deserves it. So I'd rather have be vice chair than chair.
Although under those circumstances, it's usually the county that's turn to be vice chair, unless we change the protocol.
Can I?
I don't know if that changes your mind or not, but I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you.
At the meeting we had, was it December, the gathering?
It's August of last year.
August? Wow. Okay. We brought this up and we discussed that, some of the cities, haven't had the correct rotation. And under our current guidelines, as Vice Chair Thurston has said, that it goes from city to county and then back to city again. I'd like to see the mayor of Livingston be the chair, but I also understand that Mr. Thurston has been the vice chair all year long, and I'm not sure it's right to pull the rug out from under him after a year of thinking that he was going to be chair, and he sent out an email through Margie stating that he would love to accept the job. And in lieu of the comments of the mayor of Livingston, I'm just wondering if we could maybe review this policy for a few years, get everyone back into the rotation that you're supposed to have for the chairmanship, and then continue with the supervisor or the county and then the city. I think it would be only right. I don't know how this got out of sync. It shouldn't have. We have a policy from city to county, but it is out of sync. I have the listing of the last 12 years. And it's just that within 8 years, Antwater has been the chairman twice, and within 6 years, it'll now be that Merced will have the chairmanship twice. So, Abercrombie?
Oh, okay, that was longer than 8 years.
2002.
What did you say?
Okay. Yeah, well, no, from the, and then Joan Fall was in 2010.
Right.
So it was 8 years. And so, you know, I mean, if this body sees it fit, we should get back on the same rotation, look this over, but that would cut out the county for a few years. If you just, I just want to warn you, that's what I'm proposing. But it's not cutting him out because this rotation got out of sync. And if we're going to be fair and act as an association of governments, then the association of governments should look to see that these things are carried out and that everyone has a chance. At one of the meetings it was mentioned, well, we couldn't get anyone to volunteer. I don't remember Mr. Espinoza even being asked to be the chairman or even considered to be so. So that would be my long-winded explanation and proposal, that we get back on sync. We asked Margie to look at the all the rotations and see who comes up next. And then after that, we get back into our same swing again.
Okay, but, sir, you're asking us to get back in sync, so how do we start by getting back in sync? Because the way it's supposed to be is that the next person is supposed to be really the sense, who's the official chair at this time? That would be Jerry O'Bannon.
Jerry O'Bannon is
right?
the county.
So then,
Yeah.
so then the next person, then that would be the city. Okay, so that would be the city would be the next person to be the chair.
Right. And then, no, it would be the county would be, if Mr. Thurston assumes the position next year, then then it would revert to the county again, and then Mr. Espinoza would have to wait 2 years in order to be the chair. You wouldn't make him the vice chair next year, because it would be, again, the county.
Not next year.
Or the year after.
Yeah.
So Mr. Espinoza would have to skip, or Livingston would have to skip another year.
If I could speak to this briefly, the bylaws provide that the chairmanship alternates between city and county. So the chair is always, if the chair is a mayor or a representative of a city, the vice chair has to be a member of the Board of Supervisors. That is in the bylaws.
Right.
So for purposes of this discussion, you're limited to members of the Board of Supervisors. Assuming that Mayor Thurston or Mayor Espinoza serves as chair next year. But Mayor Espinoza, Director Espinoza, how long have you been on the board?
I think this is my third year.
Okay. Then,
He qualifies.
if one of them is chair, the vice chair has to be a member of the Board of Supervisors. That is in your bylaws.
Right, but the bylaws don't say it has what city it is. There's no rotation for the cities.
No, there isn't.
It's just city,
Oh, the
county.
bylaw.
City,
There's
county.
the same state representative could be it forever. There's no stipulation that the city rotates.
That's where we have to.
But is that what's fair? You know,
That's what's on the books.
I know, but if we look at that, and you look at the rotation, almost every city has been on here as a rotation,
Except for Livingston.
except for Livingston, and then it would be, well, whatever it is. Well, how about this? How about we confirm Director Thurston as the chair, and we don't name a vice chair at this time, and then bring back the policy to amend it so we can get things back in sync, and then name a chair,
Director,
or vice chair.
Director Walsh had his hand. We'll go ahead, everybody.
Yeah, the issue about sync is, the fact is that the cities are out of sync.
That's correct.
Not the
The
county,
county.
the cities are out of sync. I mean,
Correct.
that's really, normally in the past, my experience has been we have leaned towards the cities to make nominations.
Well, it's impossible for the county to be out of sync.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, we looked at, frankly, at this point, if you're looking for a vice chair, then many times we've looked to each other that says, okay, who on the county thing you're trying to get, how do we get it back on sync so it's level playing field for everybody? Everybody gets a rotation. I'm more than willing to have that discussion. I don't know.
It's just a matter of fairness. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you disagree with the outcome. I think what we're talking about is how do we get there on the process. So that's
Right.
I think the key thing is, as far as I'm concerned, is the city of Livingston has not been the chair of this committee.
Correct.
That's the key. Now, if Mr. Espinoza from the city of Livingston chooses not to be the chair, then he's had the opportunity, and his city has had the opportunity to be chair and chosen not to be. But according to our council, is that the next group is from the city as the chair, and then the vice chair has to be from the Board of Supervisors.
That's correct.
Well, I want to fix it, but I don't want to take, again, Stan Thurston position. I think, if I don't mind waiting 2 years, if, but he's already the chairman. I mean, he's going to be I hope he's the chairman. I'll nominate him for chairman. And if you guys want to discuss it, that's fine. If not, I'll wait the 2 years because, or otherwise we can have a discussion later on, we'll get there and make the motion.
It would not violate the bylaws for Mr. Espinoza to be chair next year.
But I believe he just nominated you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. He's trying to be polite.
Next year, the year after.
Yeah. No, really. It doesn't violate the bylaws for you to be nominated for chair next year. You can have city.
Oh, no, city.
No, you
and
can't.
county.
No, can't do that.
You can't have city. You have to have city.
No, it just says the county will be the vice chair if a city's chair. It doesn't say you can't have a city chair every year if you want to, according to the bylaws.
The bylaws state, if I may.
Ask our council.
Basically, you would nominate a chairman that's a city rep and nominate a vice chairman that's a county rep
Right.
this year. And you do the exact same thing next year. That is consistent with the bylaws. You'd have a city chair for 2 years. If the county representatives were okay with that, that would, or they're.
You've confused me now, and it doesn't take much to do that. I thought we alternated year to year. One year we're from the county, 1 year we're from the city. 1 year we're from the county, the city.
Historically, yes.
Not two cities or two counties.
But it's not required by the bylaws.
Okay, here's how Director Thurston is correct in his reading of the bylaws. Technically speaking, the chair, okay, let's assume it's, for the sake of argument, since Director Espinoza has nominated, let's assume it's Director Thurston this coming year. Your vice chair would have to be a member of the Board of Supervisors. However, simply being vice chair does not make you the chair the next year. So the bylaws would allow for the vice chair to sort of step aside and a director from a city, right, and a director from a city could serve as the chair again, not having served as vice chair. I know, it's confusing.
I would suggest that we might take time to review these bylaws and get them straightened out, because
Mr. Chair.
I thought by just the way it went, we just alternated city Board of Supervisors, so we might want to review those bylaws.
Mr. Chair, can I say
But
something?
anyway, if Mr. Espinoza is agreed, I will nominate Mr. Thurston to be the chair next year.
Director Pedrosa.
Yeah. Here's my take on this, and I'm not trying to make this any more complicated than what it already is right now, which it shouldn't be. But anyways, and I respect Mayor Espinoza for this, but and in all due respect to Mayor Espinoza and everyone else, but whoever is the vice chair from the county, I mean, he or she would have been doing the same thing that Vice Chair Thurston has done, with the expectation, I would assume, to be chair next time. So
That's where I don't understand. You would assume that you would be chair, because the reason that the man is the vice chair now is so that he can conduct the meetings when the chair is not here. But that doesn't automatically give him the the chair the following year.
It's called politics on behalf of the mayor of Los Banos.
Oh.
What Mayor of Los Banos do?
It's called politics.
The chair recognizes the mayor of Los Banos.
Thank you.
Anyways, thank you.
Don't get political.
This times you put two attorneys together. Well, I'd also like to nominate the mayor of Merced. I'd like to second that. But is there a possibility that we, in the nomination or the motion, that we could bring this back for review to maybe amend to help out Mr. Espinoza the next year in order to
It's up to the discretion of the board.
Yeah.
It can't be if you follow the rules.
No, I mean to
It
amend.
means that the next chair is from the Board of Supervisors.
Director Davis?
I think that when you start jockeying or redoing your bylaws just to put someone in a position because you think they need to be there, and maybe they do need to be there, I think you're going in the wrong direction.
Well, I'm just looking at and I'm all about fairness, and I'm not advocating for the city of Los Banos. It has nothing to do with that. I'm advocating for the mayor of Livingston, who has not had a chance to be chair. So why should he be penalized because of instances that were beyond his control, and now why shouldn't we make it right? I mean, I don't know why anyone would object to making something right that was not correct.
It is right, though.
I don't know which
Yes, sir,
ones.
because let me, the thing is this, we made it right by my nominating the young man to be chair. He chose not to be chair. So it is not that we didn't give him the opportunity, he chose not to take the opportunity and to pass the opportunity over to Mr. Thurston. So, and then in the following year, we will go back to the Board of Supervisor person being chair. So the young man had the opportunity, but he chose not to take the opportunity.
Well, I think it goes back to the same, issue that the supervisor, if it's a vice chair, he'll be expected to be chair, and that's the same thing for Stan Thurston. He's a vice chair. It's already,
I think that's something we need to take
Yeah.
away completely, because that's a total misunderstanding. The vice chair is only for the period of time that we're doing now, and then I really think that we need to take this and do a really review of the bylaws so everybody understands how they work, because I don't think we all understand how they work.
Well, the fairness-
The definition of the different duties and tenure of duties.
I believe that's what Director Villalta has requested.
yeah. May I say something?
So I'm seconding Director Fall's request.
Okay.
Director Espinoza?
Well, I think we'll leave it at that. I think, I just to be fair, it's not for the mayor of Livingston, it's for the city of Livingston, which hasn't been, I don't think there's a record of when the city has been vice chair and chair. I'm not doing it for me. If it's next year, I might not be here next year, who knows what's gonna happen. But, or the year after that, so, it's just, to be fair, I think. And we're here to, to try to, be fair with, following every city, the supervisors, and that's what we're trying to follow, is a fairness. And that's just what I was seeking as well. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? There's a motion and second on the.
We close nomination for chair.
Oh. We'll vote on that first. Are the nominations closed? Everyone say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion for chair of next year? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Do we now choose the vice?
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'll have to do something for this young man. Whose rotational turn is it for vice chair county? Or are you gonna?
But
That'd be the county.
Director Fall, didn't we have a motion and a second, but included a review of the, that was our motion and second, so that was approved?
I think that's well understood. We're going to have a review of the system.
I mean, before someone is selected.
That is not an action item on the agenda today.
That's a direction.
Yeah.
The bylaws say we have to choose a chair and the vice chair prior to the beginning of the fiscal year.
Well, then if we choose a vice chair and it's the county, let me ask this just as a question. Okay? If we choose a vice chair choose a vice chair now, can we then unseat that vice chair if we decide to amend the bylaws at a later date?
Oh.
Nominate
Director Davis.
Nominate me for chair, vice chair.
But she'll be leaving in a few months.
That's the point.
You want to do that? You want to do that?
Well, then we can review the bylaws, and I think we can solve some of these problems.
I want, who's vice chair of the Board of Supervisors right now?
I am.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
No, the chair isn't here, so I think it's appropriate for someone from the county to nominate the vice chair. They're just springing right up over
Okay,
there.
well, I'd like to nominate Lynn Davis then.
I second.
Okay.
It's all legal. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, congratulations.
Congratulations.
I don't know what you're going to do with the extra money, but, you know. Yes, sir. At least one. Executive Director's Report. This will make good TV.
Mr. Chairperson, members of the board, I just would like to thank my staff, Brooke Stair, Nadia Gonzalez, Rich Green, and Christina Smith for the great work that they did with the grand jury. We had some excellent reports produced by the grand jury that I sent you last Friday. And, you know, that was a little tense on our side because there were quite a bit of questions that were asked, and I think we came out of it with flying colors. So thank you all for your hard work on that. Thank you.
Can't believe we escaped jail again. Director's Report, beginning with Director Walsh.
Mark, just FYI, if you are going to be asked here at the very end, to give an update on the cash flow and issues related to AME. Since the county is running the dollars and it's out of road money, there have been questions raised about how far are we in the arrears. So I just want to give you a heads up. That is something to do. And it might be used up for here. Sure. As well as the
Mayor Fall.
I just want to invite you all to our, since we won't be meeting until the 17th of July, I would like to invite you all to our 4th of July parade and fireworks and anything. And if you'd like to donate towards our fireworks, we would appreciate it because naturally we are a little bit behind on our funding for our fireworks for this year. But we hope to have a wonderful again, and so I just would like to invite you all to come to our fireworks and our 4th of July celebration.
Thank you. Vice Chair Davis.
First, I want to thank the board for nominating and electing me vice chair, and I'll tell you what, I do take the job serious. And if I am required to chair a meeting, I will do it as it should be and not take it lightly. Thank you.
Supervisor Pedroza.
Just everyone have a happy 4th and safe.
Mayor Espinoza.
Congratulations to the new electeds, and as well as the City of Livingston's having the 4th of July fireworks. Have stopped by Livingston. We can't make it to Atwater, so thank you.
Mayor Villalta.
I haven't been here for a couple of months, and I'm glad it's still lively when I return.
You could have made it more lively.
No, it's not my intent to make anything lively. we have a 4th of July celebration too, if you'd like to come. And we're in the rears also, so if you'd like to donate to ours, maybe you can split it with the city of Atwater. Thank you.
Way down at the end, Director Oliveira.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, our fireworks are 102 years old this year, so we're having fireworks, but the high school is 100 years old, so they're having a celebration the same weekend, of which so far between 900 and 1,000 people have signed up to come to the high school centennial. Plus, it's my class's 50th reunion, and so far my class has 3 parties scheduled that weekend. I don't know how I'm going to survive it. But everybody have a safe and sane 4th.
I was going to comment that I'm sure that Joe wasn't in that initial class.
No, but my dad almost was.
Just eat between drinking bouts.
Yeah.
Driver.
Director Antonetti.
Walk.
Enough?
Just want to wish everybody a happy 4th.
Thank you. Thank you, Atwater, for hosting us today. Thank you, Mayor.
We have cookies and water.
See,
You had cookies, I made them.
Super.
I enjoyed the cookies, it's good. And audience, you may have cookies also.
I think Director Walsh has made about 5 trips to those cookies.
Director Walsh.
Thank you for giving me the trust of chair, and thank you, Mayor, for being a gentleman.
My dad is being fine.